Okay, quick short video here. Barry's Best Honey. And once again, as I do with all my YouTube, all of them, the few that I have out there, the YouTube videos, these are not how-to videos. These are videos that I make because they're large. They're large enough that they're too long to really stick on a Facebook post. And so I load them to YouTube for my Facebook page for the viewers there to see what we're doing. So it's not a how-to. This is a how-to. This is a how I do. How about that? It's a how I do video. So anyway, we are in the midst of our big honey harvest. The main one we do each year. We pull a little bit of honey in the beginning of spring off of the privet if we can. If the bees don't need it for buildup, if there's excess, we pull it. And this year there wasn't a lot of excess. There was 1 bucket. That's light stuff. That's the April honey. So we let that go. But then the main pull is now after the tallow flow. We have, usually I pull in July. And we have that tropical storm moving in. So I wanted to get it all pulled and try to get it before any of the power goes out. Should it go out, which it normally does here. Our wonderful power company that we have. Although the linemen are great. I'm not going to bust on them. Those guys come out here, but I think it's because their company puts them in a position to constantly practice on working on stuff because, man, the infrastructure here is rough. Even one of the linemen has told me that. But anyway, they do a great job. They get us hooked up really quick. They come out here on holidays. They've been out here so many times. I've given them some honey when they come out here. Great guys, but I feel for their company and when they work for. But anyway, so our main harvest is now trying to get it before the storm comes in and knocks our power out because I use a little power to extract. This is my little honey room that I work in. I got a bottler right here. There's all my boxes that we pulled this yesterday. And these boxes are about 30 to 40 pounds a piece, give or take. Some people will tell you they're 70. They're not 70 pounds. They tell you that deep boxes are 100 pounds. They're not 100 pounds. If they weigh it, I challenge them. It's not. But 30 to 40 pounds, and when you start slinging 30 to 40 pounds, pull 25 plus boxes. So that's 50 moves we make with them. You get kind of tired when you're getting older. So these are our honey supers that I've got stacked up. I run 9 frames in my boxes, not 10, so that they're nice and thick. As you can see with this frame of honey, it's real thick on the sides, and that makes it easy for uncapping. Okay, and then what we'll do, we'll extract these, and these boxes will be wet. We'll put them out for the bees to clean out. And then a few of the strong hives, I'll go ahead and put these back on, just 1 box on each strong hive to give them room in all this heat so they can cool their hive a little better. But also, they'll move some of the honey out of the deep boxes down there because there may be too much for them where the queen doesn't have a lot of room. And also the goldenrod will come in. So October we'll yank, maybe there'll be 5 or 6 boxes on the hives. We'll yank those off, and if there's honey we'll take them, and if it's not enough we'll feed it back to them. So what we do is we bring all our boxes in and we'll see if we can, I know I'm moving around and just walking, but it's basically what we have. We'll bring them in here. I'll pull each frame out. I'll take them to my uncapping tank. We'll cut the caps off. You can see here's some caps that were cut off already. Oops, too much zoom. I'm not a videographer either. I've said that many times. And what this will do is all these caps, we'll chop them up, and they'll drain into the bottom. And when I'm done, I'll have 5 gallons of honey in that bottom tank. And the caps will be pretty much dry. And we'll save those. And these are the premium caps, the nice white wax. This wax will be melted down, as you can see on my wax shelf. And we'll make nice, beautiful white wax out of that. And that'll be for and it's food grade. I don't use miticides. That'll be used for candles and lip balms. And that more yellow one back there, that's brood comb. I use that for maintenance in the hives. Okay. But anyway, so then we'll take them from the uncapping tank. So we go box, uncapping tank, basically uncap the frames. We'll put them in this. This is my little storage between the extractor and that way I can have 6 rolling, 6 in here, and begin uncapping more. And these are uncapped. Oh, let me bend over here. These are all uncapped frames. And then when we're done, we'll take all that excess honey out of there and strain it. Then they go from there into the extractor. And from the extractor, go through a double strainer coarse, and then underneath is a really, really fine strainer. And then it goes in the bucket, and those are food grade buckets. And we take those and we store them and we put them in the bottler and we bottle. So our honey is basically taken straight from the frame, spun out of the comb, and put right to a strainer and into a bucket, and that's it. The most warming we do is to keep it at around 80, 85, maybe 90, just to keep it fluid. And that's the same temperature the bees are keeping it at. So we're not pasteurizing or anything at. We're not killing any of the enzymes. Those are killed off usually around 115 to 120 degrees. You pasteurize stuff at 150. So a lot of the commercial guys do that, but they really have no choice. But we don't have to do that. So anyway, I'm gonna finish spinning this out. I turned it off to quiet it down, but I'm gonna show you as I uncap one frame and then unload the uncapper and the extractor and then reload it. And this is what we do. These are dry, so these are all emptied out. We'll pull these, put them in this box here. And while you may think honey is sticky, when it's really fluid and all over your hands, it's actually slick. These frames slip. And one thing when you're pulling honey, you might as well count on having honey everywhere, because it is messy. But that's just part of it. Turn it, pull the next two. These weren't fully capped, but that's okay. The rule of thumb is 90% capped. The bees cap honey at 17% water. So once it's to 17% or less, they will cap it. That means it's cured. The stuff that wasn't capped probably had still a little bit of a moisture content to it. And the problem is, if you don't let them cap it and you put all this honey in boxes, it will ferment on you. So the rule of thumb is to have 90% of your honey capped. Some say 80. I just go by 90. That's what I first learned. But I had one box that was partially capped. Well, out of that one box, plus 20 others that are fully capped, that's easily 90% capped. It'll all mix in and it'll equalize. And plus, over time as it sits, it will dry out. So, these last two. Now this extractor holds 6, or you can also put 3 deep frames in here. Those are larger frames, 9-inch frames, to make it 9. But I don't pull those. I leave those in the hive for the bees. You gotta leave the bees honey. This is their food. You can't take it all. Then we wipe my hands so I can show you what it looks like when we start flowing. Turn it on slow at first. Kind of get the... I don't know what that noise is. It's a new noise. Alright, good. Get a little bit faster and a little bit faster. And here's what we got. Now honey in these combs, these cells, and each one of these little cells, they're angled, they're angled like this. Okay? So when you put this in here, it slings it right out of the the cell. Each cell, as this thing spins, swings it against the wall. This extractor runs down the wall. Oh, there was a bee that just came through. You saw that? And that's why we strain it. And then we get a bee in there. Maybe some bee parts. Lots of wax. Propolis. We get propolis in there. This is this is propolis. It's a mixture of tree saps and enzymes and honey. And what the bees do with that, they seal their hives up with it, and it's all over the frames. And it looks kind of nasty, but it's not. It's actually an antiseptic, a natural antiseptic. You can make it. You can use a high-proof alcohol, and you can make an antiseptic for cuts. That's why the hives are so healthy. But anyway, as those cells are pointed up, you basically point them toward the outside of the extractor, so when it spins, it goes straight out into the wall and down the side. And each one of those boxes will yield about 3 gallons. And that's really all there is to it. I'll do this all evening long. And speed up a little bit more till we get it all out. And then we'll place them back in these empty boxes. I've done 3 so far, just started. And we'll get all 20 plus done and get everything in buckets and cleaned up and feed it back to the bees. And this is the fun part. Taking that natural honey and taking a wad of it and chewing it up. Oh, it's so good right out. It's so fresh. And that's it. So anyway, just wanted to show everybody what we do when we extract. Get these last few boxes done and call it a day. Anyway, hope everybody's safe out there in the storm, and we're going to be safe, and hopefully we keep power, and it isn't that big of a deal. Hopefully it's just a rain event, and wishing everybody a safe weekend.